The University of Calgary is launching a new initiative rewarding students for their achievements outside the classroom. Julie Phillips reports.
Josh Bridges is the president of the U of C Ski Club, and he puts in lots of time. With a new initiative developed by the Office of the Student Experience and the Students' Union Quality Money Fund, Bridges' efforts may soon be recognized officially.
The co-curricular record project is a way of formally recognizing student engagement on campus, and we have a formally documented record of everything that you've done in your extracurricularly in your post-secondary career.
SU VP Academic Pamela Weatherby proposed the idea of the co-curricular record last year and hopes the record will inspire students to get more involved on campus.
I think that it's giving you the tools that you need to really succeed after school, so it's not just about coming to the university, going to class, getting your degree. It's about being engaged and, contributing to the overall campus experience.
Starting in January 2009, students at the U of C can go online and begin logging the hours they spend in co-curricular activities. The university will verify the involvement, and students can print the record.
We know that there's a lot of learning that happens outside of the classroom, that it's important, that it really enhances the student experience overall and allows us to graduate well-rounded students. And so the co-curricular record is an official recognition of all of that happens outside of the classroom.
Once the website is up and running, students can not only log their co-curricular activities, but seek it out on campus.
One of the features that will be really interesting about the co-curricular record website is it will allow students to search for involvement opportunities. So if a student's interested in getting involved in an organization that's related to their major for 5 hours a week, they can do a search that specific on the website and find out everything that's available to them to get connected.
I think actually having something that's produced by the university is a little bit more sort of official sounding. You can't just make it up, same way you could on a resume.
Julie Phillips, NUTV.
Passchendaele was one of Canada's greatest World War I battles. And thanks to Paul Gross, this historic event is now a major Canadian feature film. On the verge of its Calgary Gala opening, Colleen Sharp heads to the front lines.
Hi, welcome to New Movies. This week I took a look at the film Passchendaele by Paul Gross. I thought I'd take a chance to interview some of the people who were involved and see what they thought about the process and why the film was important to them.
Both of my grandfathers were in the First World War, and a lot of the other extra people that I worked with, they had a family history of their grandfathers or their great-grandfathers, or uncles, or somebody had been in the military and served in World War I. Paul Gross did ask for some authenticity in people who had a family history, and a lot of people did show up. This is a chance to show that there was a lot more to World War I than just the Canadian Army fighting at Vimy Ridge. I was very proud to be a part of the cast and crew as an extra in this film. We have some of the best people here in Calgary to work with, and everybody was in the trenches. The lighting guys, the horse wranglers, the caterers, everybody was soaking wet. It wasn't just the guys playing soldier. Everybody had to really cowboy up, and they did an outstanding job.
Well, I'm very pleased that it was made in Calgary. There's no question. It's a Calgary battalion, the Fighting 10th, the Calgary 10th, which are now the Highlanders. And so it was a Calgary story, it was Calgary scenes, and it was set in Calgary. And then the story continues at the Battle of Passchendaele and follows the Fighting 10th over to Passchendaele. Canadians seem to have been focused not so much on storytelling but on documentaries, and there are certainly some wonderful documentaries about Canada's efforts in the war and things on Billy Bishop in World War II and Korea, but they're documentaries, they tell history. Part of convincing a wider audience than us historians, the people who pore over old reports and old archives, is to convince a larger audience that Canada has a history that's worth celebrating and worth looking at. And you don't do that through documentaries, you do that through storytelling. You get people enthused, and then they go search out the documentaries to tell them what really happened.
Cinematography is outstanding. If you just like looking at a beautiful film, that's that half of it, and then when the battle starts up, boy, it's something else.
I hope you'll consider seeing Passchendaele and learn about this very important moment in Canadian history. For New TV, I'm Colleen Sharp.
If you're gonna die, die clean. Steve McClellan has more.
We all heard that Paul Newman passed away this past week. Unfortunately, another actor also passed on. His name, House Peter Jr.'s. You may have never heard of his name, but one of the characters he played has become a household name and a popular day icon. The bald-headed, the big-armed, and the pure-steered man that hated dirt, Mr. Clean. The image of Mr. Clean first appeared on TV in 1957 as a cartoon, along with that famous jingle. Not much has changed with that jingle or the image of Mr. Clean since, but lots has changed with the world outside of Mr. Clean.
Floors, doors, walls,
now I have more time to cook dinner. Thanks, Mr. Clean.
he'll even help clean laundry too.
Now I have time for other things. Thanks, Mr. Clean.
Can he clean a kitchen sink?
Now I have more time to be a success. Thanks, Mr. Clean.
Faster than a flash. Can he clean a dirty mirror?
He'll make it bright. Now we have more time to be together. Thanks, Mr. Clean.
Mr. Clean gets rid of...
According to Wikipedia, in September of 2008, a European Parliament deemed the image of Mr. Clean, aka Monsieur Propre, to be offensive. They thought the image implied that only muscular men could clean a house properly. The actor, House Peters Jr., played Mr. Clean in the 50s and 60s, as well as several minor roles in cowboy flicks. He found his success later in life in selling real estate. I was told the secret to his success was making sure the houses were very clean. Mr. House Peters joined the actors who played the Maytag Man and the Glad Garbage Man in the afterlife on October 1st, 2008, at the age of 92. He survived by his wife, his 3 children, and 4 grandchildren. It was said by someone who didn't know him, "You didn't mess with the guy. He would really mop the floor with you. He's a real tough, grim fighter."